We're Byron and Jill, two hands-on people with big dreams. In 2024, we purchased 100 acres in southeast Queensland in an area called Mount Binga. We bought it on a total whim. Byron was nursing a damaged knee after a motocross accident and doing some heavy thinking. And Jill was dreaming of being closer to the mountains, the beach, her family, and riding some new mountain bike trails. We'd never heard of Mount Binga before, but the native trees, rolling hills and permanent dams seemed like the perfect place to build a new off-grid haven for us and our two boys. We're not new to building, but we are new to YouTube, so stay tuned as we get off-grid at Mount Binga. Way back in episode 3, from about a year ago, we asked our earth-moving contractor Matt to spend a little more time here pushing some fire breaks, or fire lines, whatever you wanted to call them, after he'd finished with our driveway and house pad. We knew that this would be a necessary thing to manage our heavily timbered block, and geez, we're glad that we did. Because a year later, almost to the day, the inevitable happened. Bushfire season arrived here with a blaze. I was away on a work trip and Byron was working nearby when he received a phone call from a neighbour. "Have you been evacuated yet?" the neighbour said. Luckily, Byron was able to get home quickly to start preparing for what was to come. No more than 30 minutes later, the fire had made it onto our block, as you can see in these next couple of photos. This was part of the same fire complex that had been moving across the landscape to the north of here for over a week. We'd been paying close attention to it, using all the apps and seeing the smoke plumes on the horizon, but all it takes is the right weather conditions and things can escalate rather quickly.
More than 100 firefighters, including teams from the Sunshine and Gold Coasts, are working around the clock to control the bushfire at Gilla, which started 2 weeks ago.
We still have a number of crews in the area operating on that fire ground, particularly trying to make sure they're strengthening those containment lines for the coming days.
A large air tanker was tasked from Bundaberg, joining other water bombing craft in the air.
So we've still got a number of bombing aircraft in there with the helitax in terms of those yellow and blue helicopters flying around. Then we've also got some of our fixed wing aircraft, just making sure that supporting those ground crews, making sure that fire stays in containment.
Several residents evacuated voluntarily and crews worked to ensure houses on the Coralgan and Kooyar Mount Binga roads weren't impacted by the fire. But the smoke haze has spread as far as the town of Blackbutt to the northeast.
Luckily, the amazing fire crews, both air and ground, were able to protect us all, and no structures have been damaged, though one did get pretty close. Overall, they are saying that over 800 hectares has burned so far, and a lot of it was playing out in the skies above our block. The first helicopters to arrive on the scene were the two Specialist Intelligence Gathering helicopters, or what we were calling the Scouts. These guys hovered around, collecting data around the hotspots and relaying this information to the water bombers. For the past few days, there have also been two water bombers working in unison, taking it in turn to fill up from property dams nearby and looping around to the fire fronts all day, from about 7 o'clock to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This one here is a Bell 214B. It's the largest, most powerful single-engine twin-blade helicopter ever manufactured. With its maximum lifting capacity of up to 3,000 kilos, plus a 3.3-hour endurance, these machines are the most productive and cost-effective helicopters in their class, making them the leaders when it comes to heavy lift helicopters for carrying out operations such as firefighting, lifting and construction, and assisting in disaster aid and salvage operations. The Bell 214B can be fitted with either the Tsunami belly tank, which is what they mostly used here, or up to a 3,000 litre underslung bucket. These tanks can fill up in around 30 seconds, sucking 75 litres of water per second, whilst hovering over the surface of the dam. At times there have also been some fixed-wing aircraft flying around, including the LAT, or the large air tanker you saw in the news clip, dropping fire retardant. Then of course there's been the amazing ground crews. These teams have worked tirelessly during the days and the nights, building new fire breaks, clearing fallen trees, putting out fires and protecting the residents who are scattered throughout these scrubby hills. At any one time, there's been up to 18 fire crews around here keeping us all safe. We're so grateful for all the support we've received so far, and we're also really hopeful for some rain on the weekend to settle things down. Fingers crossed. And Byron's firefighting efforts, well, they were top-notch. Armed with a 1,000 litre ICB of dam water, which he was towing behind the quad bike, and with a portable pump and hose, the same ones he uses to water the apple trees, he was able to stop the fire advancing any more than a few hundred metres into our block. We have some fallen timber and we've lost a lot of grass, but we were kept safe and sound here at Gilby, and I'll be forever grateful.